I think it will have zero effect on the needle, either in Congress or in public opinion.
He doesn't have a plan B. He's got this limited, targeted, very small footprint attack, no air power.
It leaves out an interesting connection point between what we don't like having been done by the Assad regime, the use of chemical weapons, and what our action would do to prevent it from happening again around the world.
They were just unmoved. They just, we've come to the stage in that presidency. It happens to all presidents, but here maybe a little bit sooner than usual, 5 years in, the Democrats aren't even being swayed.
That's some reaction to some of what the president said last night. I don't know about you, but I don't know why the president even bothered to give that speech. This is what I tweeted last night as the president was wrapping up his talk. I said, one of the most warped speeches ever delivered by a president. Stunning, illogic, and emotionally flat. The president could hardly have been more illogical. He declared last night that America is not the world's policeman, not the world's policeman, and then went on to ask Congress to give him authority to act as that policeman and to support him. He also told us he would explain why Syria is a danger to our security. He was going to tell us that. Now, do you feel like Syria is a danger to your security today? Aside from his emotionalism and abstraction, he was at best unpersuasive. He declared outright the purpose of the strike would be to deter Assad, to deter him from using chemical weapons, and to make clear to the world that we will not tolerate their use. With this little tiny, limited, proportional, oh so small strike. We in this case means France and the United States, and France is really a maybe, so the we is you, me, and the rest of us. He reminded us he's the president of a constitutional democracy. He called it a constitutional democracy. It's really, Mr. President, a constitutional republic. And we know he should have said that. We know what he meant. The rhetorical contortions then became extreme, straining all logic. The president saying he has the authority to order military strikes. He has that authority when there's a direct or imminent threat to this nation's security. And he told us he decided to take the debate to Congress because, well, he just felt it'd be better. And he declared the U.S. military doesn't do pinpricks. What in the world does he mean? And that even a limited strike would send a message to Assad. The pinpricks that we don't do would be convincing to Assad, he asserted. But then he said he wouldn't remove a dictator by force, but that a targeted strike would make him think twice before using chemical weapons. Whatever happened to Muammar Gaddafi? And then he said, even though radical Islamists and extremists are part of Assad's opposition, that they are really just like you and me, wanting to live in peace and dignity and freedom. You know, go down to the McDonald's and have, you know, maybe, well, anyway. He didn't cite a single example outside of Israel in the Middle East of a democracy, peace and freedom being enjoyed by folks like us. Interestingly, he didn't even try to explain how his Secretary of State and Russia's President, Vladimir Putin, came to be the principal players in resolving the Syrian problem. By the time he finished, it was clear that Mr. Obama had given up any pretense of logic, or for that matter, caring for the 7 ultimatums or the so-called red lines he and his administration delivered over the past year. His second to last line is simply amazing. That second to last line reads, with humility but with resolve, let us never lose sight of that essential truth. Now, as you analyze the paragraph and the sentences in that paragraph, one could construct it to say President Obama is referring to America taking action. But the declarative sentence of the paragraph at the outset is this: America is not the world's policeman. And on that essential truth, I think most Americans can agree. And as the president said last night, God bless the United States of America.